Welcome to Lesson 10, the one where your Python finally starts looking like it was written in 2026. Last lesson, you wrote init, des, mock wrapper, boss, and boss, eq, guas by hand. Today, we delete all of that. The Dataclass decorator generates those dunders from your type hints, 5 lines instead of 30. Add frozen true for immutable value objects, layer in typing. Protocol for duck typing that MIPY actually understands, and you've got the 4 patterns that separate dated Python from modern Python. Here's the roadmap. 4 patterns, in order of impact. First, a data class, the new default for any class that mostly holds data. Second, frozen, true, immutable, hashable, thread-safe value objects. Third, field with default factory, the fix for the mutable default trap that's bitten every Python developer at least once. And fourth, protocol, duck typing that MIPY can actually verify. Master these 4, and your code stops looking like 2010. Start with the headline result. On the left, the Lesson 9 way, and f init yes, a bas cas rep yes, and yax ek yes with the ice instance dance, and a bas hash yes. Roughly 25 lines of mechanical boilerplate you've written 100 times. On the right, the modern equivalent, import data class, decorate with frozen true, declare 2 type-hinted fields, 5 lines, same constructor, same reaper, same equality, same hash, generated for you and arguably more correct because you can't typo a dunder. Now let's talk about why frozen true matters beyond saving keystrokes. Money of 100 euros is a value. It doesn't have an identity. It doesn't change over time. 2 of them are interchangeable. Marking the data class frozen enforces that semantically try to reassign amount after construction, and Python raises frozen instance error. You also get a free Domreich hash AX, which means these objects drop straight into sets and dict keys, and they're inherently thread-safe because nothing can mutate them. This is the senior pattern for domain values, money, address, coordinates, anything that represents a what rather than a who. Next up, the single most infamous bug in Python, the mutable default argument. Write items equals empty brackets in your init, and Python evaluates that list once, at class definition, then shares it across every instance. Append to one cart, and suddenly every cart has a book. Dataclass simply refuses to let you do this. It raises value error at class definition time and forces you to use field with default factory list, which calls the factory fresh for every new instance. Same pattern for dect, set, or any custom collection. The language is protecting you from yourself. Now for the 4th pattern, and this one is genuinely a game changer. Lesson 8 showed you duck typing, flexible, Pythonic, but invisible to your type checker. ABCs fix that, but force inheritance hierarchies you don't want. Protocol gives you both worlds. Define the shape once, and any class with a matching charge method satisfies it. No inheritance, no registration, no coupling. Card payment and mock payment never heard of payment method, but MIPY still validates them at every call site. That's structural subtyping, and it's the 2026 way to write polymorphic code. So how do you actually pick between them? 4 questions, and you're done. Mostly data with a few methods? Reach for data class. Need a value object that can't mutate? Add frozen true. Defining a contract for callers? That's protocol. Heavy logic, real state machines, complex behavior. Write a plain class. Earn every line. And when in doubt, default to data class. The other 3 are deliberate choices you make when the problem demands them. Beyond picking the right tool, here are 6 reflexes that mark a modern Python codebase. Default to data class. Stop handwriting dunders. Use frozen true for value objects like money or address. Always default factory for mutable defaults. Never AS. Prefer protocol over ABC because structural subtyping beats forced inheritance. Type hint everything. It's not decoration, it's fuel for MyPy and your IDE. And once a class has 4+ fields, KW only true kills positional ambiguity for good. And to make those reflexes stick, here's your daily reference. 12 patterns on one page. The left column is your data class core, the bare decorator, slots for memory, and field with default factory for safe dict and list defaults. The middle covers frozen value objects, field init false, for computed attributes in post init EE and protocol method stubs. The right column locks in KW only, mutable list defaults, structural typing, and the rule that ties it all together. When in doubt, reach for a data class. Screenshot this one. Now the 5 traps that seniors flag instantly. Mutable defaults. Data class catches them, plain functions don't, so reach for default spark factory. Frozen blocks reassignment but not mutation, so pair it with tuples and frozen sets. Don't put bodies in protocols. That's ABC's job. Use data class for value objects like money or address, not for entities with lifecycle. And keep runtime checkable off your hot paths. Structural ICE instance is slower than nominal, and that cost compounds per request. Time to put this in your hands. 3 exercises, each targeting one pattern from this lesson. First, take money or order ID from Lesson 9 and rewrite it as a frozen data class. Count the lines you delete, that's the boilerplate tax you've been paying. Second, reproduce the mutable default bug with a plain cart, then watch default factory fix it syntactically. Third, build payment method as a protocol with 2 implementations and no inheritance. Run MyPy and feel structural typing catch errors before runtime. And that's Lesson 10 in the bank. 4 tools, data class, frozen, default factory, protocol, and your Python instantly looks like it was written in 2026, not 2016. Next up, solid and design patterns, Pythonic style, single responsibility through dependency injection, then strategy, factory, adapter, built on the foundation you just laid. See you in Lesson 11.